Hello and welcome back to Developmental Drama. In today's episode, we are going to talk about something that is not just important for developmental dramas or plays, but also plays a vital role in our lives: scheduling. Scheduling is one of the most important and interesting aspects of a play. Generally, if I ask you what scheduling is, you tell me it is something quite related to creating a timetable and could be managing time effectively. Yes, scheduling is indeed something very similar to creating a timetable, where one makes sure that every part of the play is given enough and equal time to practice so that it nourishes and grows. In simple words, scheduling is all about simplifying the complexity of any production. Scheduling is something that saves time. Let me tell you why. This is because now everyone knows what is supposed to happen and when, and thus everyone does it according to the allotted time. For example, if the schedule is made for the last scene to be practiced, then the previous scene cast would empty the venue accordingly and on time, which would save time and also reduce misunderstandings. Scheduling makes your rehearsals smooth and organized, due to which your stress reduces and the process of managing the production is far more simplified as everything is done in a systematic manner. When everything is scheduled correctly and followed, things become easy. But yes, these schedules also need to be followed once made. We simply cannot just put them aside the way we created timetables in our childhood and just left them unfollowed. The schedule for a play must be followed. But why? To give an example, our annual routine at school. The first few days we have introduction sessions, then activities and presentations, which can be compared with our practice, which helps us give our best on the final show day, just like all our preparations during all the school days help us for our final examinations. This is how a proper schedule would simplify the process of producing a play as it is now distributed stepwise and evenly. Scheduling also highlights the value of punctuality. This is seen when everyone arrives on time and also often leaves on time, as there is no overload of work on anyone and nobody has to stay back to complete the work left because all the work was being done on time since the beginning itself. It can be described as a time to time process. Creating a schedule comprises many things. One must decide the time for rehearsals that includes the number of minutes and the days when the scenes have to be practiced. For example, when I was working in a play, we used to practice for almost 80 minutes twice a week. Also, one must carefully decide when which scene has to be practiced, as no scene could be ignored and every part of the play must be given enough time. While deciding when the final show would be, one must keep in mind the target audience and their availability. One must also check with the other technicians and their timings and then plan the technical sessions. Scheduling is like a roadmap. It guides you throughout your journey of creating and managing the production. It is the foundation of any production. It is like a drawing that an architect draws before constructing successful projects. Scheduling is the art of management, be it time or team. You need to learn to manage it all, and thus, the best way is to create a schedule and try making it easy. Here, we come to the end of today's episode of Scheduling for Developmental Drama. But before I sign off, we would like to express our heartfelt gratitude to a few of our friends who contributed to making this episode. We thank Dhruvisha for throwing light on the point that scheduling saves time. We also thank Nyanta for sharing with us her perspective that scheduling makes rehearsals go smooth. We are grateful to Mahi for bringing in the value of being punctual that is seen in a schedule. We thank Dia for telling us the point of scheduling being a time to time process. We also thank Tanushri for pointing it out that scheduling makes sure that everyone knows what is happening and when. At last, we thank Dharma for changing the perspective of all of us by sharing that scheduling is not a boring task but an art of planning your activities. We are deeply grateful to all of them for coming together and contributing to this episode. And till you hear from me next time, create a schedule and try following it and see how it works out. Well, that's it for today, and this is Harashri Karya signing off for this episode of Scheduling for Developmental Drama.